Hey Gemini, welcome to SGL Spiritual Guide and Light. I know that you may have been a little confused with the air sign reading because I started off saying you Gemini, okay? I am concerned about you. I definitely are. All the Geminis out there, okay? The reason why is because a majority of you Geminis are going through the dark night of the soul. Okay, basically, that is literally something that you have to experience in order to transition into the new, out with the old, in with the new. For some of you, it's about the phoenix, coming out of its ashes, okay? But that's not what I'm here to talk about with you, Gemini. I want to talk to you about this dark night of the soul, okay? First off, I want to encourage you, if you can't, or if you don't have the strength to encourage yourself. We are human, and we all have those moments where you don't want to hear nobody talking positive. You don't want no one to tell you what's right. It's that irritable feeling of just leave me alone. Okay? And that is normal. So don't think that what you're going through, that something is wrong, or that you are losing, or that you're losing people around you. Some of you are outgrowing situations, all right? You're maturing, okay? And the decisions that you're choosing to make, it leaves you feeling some type of way, okay? I'm hearing that song. I don't know what rapper sings it. Feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? For those of you who listen to rap music. For some of you who don't listen to rap music, there's this song, Spanish song. And it's about this man with a bottle of whiskey. And he's, I believe he's telling the lady how much hates her. How much he hates her. And I feel like, I'm channeling that. So yeah, this man is mad at the love of his life. Not only is he intoxicated, but he's truly releasing how he truly feels, okay? Blaming someone else, but not realizing that he still could, live and to obtain happiness again. But when we have the lack of direction, when we've given someone else the permission to have control, to direct our lives, and if they were to leave us, there's a sense of being hard on self and being very disappointed. Now, I was trying to give different examples for you music lovers. So we have Spanish music, Mexican music, and then we have hip-hop, rap, not hip-hop, because hip-hop means highly intelligent people helping other people. And the only person I can think of is KRS-One. That's more high vibrational, clean rap with facts. And then there's this pianoist. For some of you who have short attention spans, I have a short attention span as well, so bear with me. You can fast forward if you like as well. And this pianist, the whole purpose of it is this pianist, right? He didn't become famous until old of age. Okay, so he had this passion, this drive. Okay, what am I trying to say here? Right? If you haven't read the Eight of Cups, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, it's talking about the Eight of Cups. Okay. And I need you to go listen to that so that you can come back to understand where I'm coming from, Gemini, when it comes to the dark night of the soul. All right? I do have some channel messages that I channeled for you yesterday. All right? I channeled these messages yesterday, and I was divinely guided not to read them. Everything's not going to resonate with you. All right? And cross-listener, everything is not going to resonate with you. And like I tell everyone, store it in your safe deposit box. Okay? Your spiritual safe deposit box. Save it. Don't discard it. Don't not be open to it. Okay? So that you can be able to utilize it when you need to. Especially when you have those moments when you have deja vus. Or the moment of standstill. Or the moment of not knowing if you need to go to the left or to the right. So yeah, if you notice there's a pause, it's because I have to stop and then I have to come back. But yeah, I challenged your messages yesterday, Gemini, as a collective with Libra and Aquarius, all right? And that's why you have that air signs 8, 12, 22 of letting you know about me releasing your readings individually. And you, Gemini, it's talking about the dark soul of the night, okay? Mind you, keep in mind the overall energy for August is the Phoenix. All right, so me trying to explain the Phoenix is difficult for me. So it's kind of giving me a comparison of Cataract, Meshach, and the Bendigo. So bear with me because I'm going to try to explain this to you, Gemini, and cross listener as possible, okay? Because it all ties in together. All right. This Phoenix is okay, being cast in the fire. Okay, we know that fire is some people have those, but we're not going to think that deep, okay? We're just going to keep it simple, all right? Being cast in the fire, it hurts. It doesn't feel good, all right? But instead of being, consumed in the way of a physical death, this is a spiritual death of a renew, of you coming out of the ashes as a new, and it's a cleansing. It's a fiery cleanse. That's what it is. It's a fiery cleanse. Now, for some of you Geminis, you are being cast in the fire with bad intentions, and people are trying to wonder why you're not being affected, okay, of why havoc is not, this is like someone purposely doing something to your property to make you need them or ask them for help or have you go into a state of depression. And I'm growing. I love it when I hiccup. But anywho, so some of you, it's an uncomfortable situation. Now, mind you, Gemini, I don't know what stage you are in pertaining to this Phoenix. I don't know if it's the beginning stage, the middle, or the ending, where you're coming out of it, out with the old, in with the new. For others of you, Gemini, I don't know if you have recognized ill intention. I don't know if it has to do with you coming into some type of resolution of your associations, all right? Are there decisions that you make, okay? You may be feeling like your decision making, just the choices that you make, it may feel like you're getting slapped right back in the face. And it's this sense of dealing with this karmic situations, and pertains to good and bad. What you put out there, for some of you, you're feeling like, I am a good person, I am releasing good, but I'm receiving bad. There is a sense of this boundary of pertaining to your compassion or your care. You need to keep that sacred to yourself. So there's a sense of you needing to be a little less nice. That's the only way that I can. And it's like, it eats you up. And that's your dark soul of, putting yourself first, and not like, you're an emotional being, whether people know it or not. It's making me feel like you're in Aquarius's energy, in a way. And why it's difficult is because some of you are in Libra's energy, and you're not a judgmental person, and it's putting you in a place to be judgmental with facts and logic. Okay? And so moving forward, yeah, you have to follow your heart. And it's kind of like of really realizing that following your heart means that you have to walk away. Okay? Everything wasn't all cracked up to what it is. And the only story that I can give you from a backstory, my family wanted me to be coming from those of you who've been around since the podcast started, Spiritual Guide and Light, okay? I'm supposed to be a first lady. I'm supposed to be some preacher's wife, okay? And in my religion, me growing up, women were not allowed to be preachers. We're allowed to be first ladies and missionaries, okay? And now it's now accepted, I don't practice. There's certain traditional beliefs that I still practice, but fully committed to the man state of the religion. Mind you, the bishop's house, okay? I haven't been there, but the overall, those who are able to live the quality of life and actually practicing Pentecostal religion in its highest form, and then you have other churches that are branched off, and they're conformed in their own way, and it's corrupt in a sense, okay? And when I say corrupt, it's just kind of like, rules to benefit to benefit that house. And it's just, a closed circle, right? And too many people don't fit in that circle, all right? And it could just be as simple as, the clothes you wear. My past religion does not believe in women are allowed to wear pants, okay? So, because it gives off lust, all right? Moving forward. So with that being stated, I could have, I started first I wanted to be a missionary, but then I learned I had to start the process to get someone else to realize their purpose. And once that person then wanted to be a missionary, that was my moment. I was able to see what God was trying to show me, right? That the decisions that I make, and when I press those decisions, that I have a good influence on others to step out on faith and to be confident. Everyone's not confident. A lot of people talk the talk when they're around people, but when it comes up to, they need people to step up. They can't do it alone. And so I realized I didn't want to be a missionary. And then I realized, certain people in my family, it was more so, just play the role and be a first lady. and sit comfortably. Just because you're a first lady does not mean you're going to sit comfortably and your household is going to be at peace. You get what I'm saying? That is not the commitment that I wanted. My vision and the things that I wanted was outside of the church. Okay? Mind you, I wanted to do music as a music artist, and I wanted to do worldly music. Mind you, I had the gift to make Christianity music, Christian music, okay, gospel music, and I still do. But I didn't want to be locked in a box, okay? And with all that being said, imagine how many phoenixes I had to go through. Because being consumed by this fire, it is a dark night of the soul. It's more so of the pain. It's excruciate. I can't even talk. Gemini, it's unbearable to the point where some of you are addicted to this type of pain. And now you got comfortable in that pain, and it's like you're not learning the lesson. Okay, some of you have literally went into a coma when it comes to this pain, and there's this sense of waiting for someone to wake you up. Okay, you need this extra boost of motivation, and we all need that. But some of you get annoyed when someone asks you, are you okay? How are you today? How can I help you? It's to the point where you're like, what's wrong. Stop freaking asking me type energy. And then Gemini, for some of you, you're coming out of this dark night of the soul, right? Rising out of the ashes as a fresh, a new beginning. But it's kind of like, okay, but what do I do next? And it causes you to go right back into the dark night of the soul to do more inner work. All right? I want you to follow your heart, okay? Some of you, you're like, I always follow my heart, and I don't get nothing in return. And that's that karmic, that ache of, and I'm getting that once you stop expecting, that's when you receive. There's something to do with releasing. Okay? And this release is an unexpected release. It's not something that you're gonna just conjure up or something like you're just like, oh, aha, that's it. No, it's an experience. Okay? For some of you, it's gonna feel like a deja vu. For some of you, it's just going to be a sense of enlightenment of now I see, okay? Right? So, how do you want to repeat a cycle? All right? That's the question, Gemini. You're now learning that things are not always what it seems, okay? And that's okay. You are creating facts. You are creating experience. And that's a beautiful thing, is when you have experience. All right? Don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle. Gemini, I know. But hey, I had to start somewhere. You have to understand, coming from this militant religious background of Pentecostal Church of God in Christ, Calvary Church of God in Christ, okay? And when I tell you, it is very militant. And it's more militant in the churches that are branched off from the main source of the Church of God in Christ, okay? Because the main house of the Church of God, these people are living, these people are joyful, but you have all these branching off of these other houses, and it's chaos. It feels like a prison, all right? And I say this to come into saying this, Gemini, is that you are not alone, all right? And it's not easy to take one day at a time. And that's what I was trying to say is when I started Spiritual Guide and Light, I said, God, I want you to name what do you want. I had to put God first, and I always put God first. Some of you pray differently. Your form of praying is not the same form of as everyone else. Okay? You go about, that's what makes you different. But you have to be confident in your difference so that it can be respected. And some of you don't have to be cast in the fire. Once you realize to surrender yourself to other like-minded individuals that have the same interests as you. Mind you, you're going to have disagreements, and you are going to run into some people who just naturally just don't vibe with you. And that's the simplest way that I can say it than saying don't like you, because they don't know you to not like you. It's the vibe, because a lot of people are territorial. A lot of people are me. All right? How do I know this? Because I used to be that person, right? But it wasn't my fault. I was trained that way. I was spoiled that way. And a lot of people don't get that treatment, all right? It's just all about your perception, Gemini. So when I started this channel, it was more of a secret in the sense pertaining to my family, because I know for a fact that they wouldn't appreciate it. They wouldn't accept it, you know. And so it took some time, you know. Do I plan on communicating with them about my spiritual journey? No time soon. Because why would I sit there and literally, you might as well say that I'm preparing a bonfire to be thrown in there. You know, you see the difference? When certain bridges, when you cross, let them, don't keep setting yourself up to break yourself down when you've already been broken. And I literally told someone this. I had posted it on one of my social media platforms, and it was because I was going through my dark night of the soul, and I'm like, how is it that, you know, certain people are trying to break me when I am already broken? I had a moment where I literally I couldn't no longer harbor the tears. I had to finally release them, and it was so, I mean, the smallest things would trigger me, right? Because I'm full of love, and the love that I have is kind and it is gentle. And when you realize that certain people do not want that type of love, they want tough love. They want you to prove to them that you are heartless, that you are a rebel. You get what I'm saying? And and we all know what comes with that, okay? So I'm done speaking, speaking in the sense of I don't want to lose you in the way of the lack of direction, Gemini. Because it's a lot of information. It's like going to school all over again. Consumed by information. Oh, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. You got to follow this way. Well, certain things you gotta go by the direction. I'm not telling you to play a game. You have to follow the directions. Okay? You can't skip one and go straight to task 5. You gotta go through one. Some of you, it's only 3 things. 1, 2, 3. That's simple. 1, 2, 3. And you may be feeling like you may be realizing, and it could be hurting. I'm literally sensing someone crying because the whole time you thought you were divine, and the whole time you were operating as a karmic and pertaining to a relationship. Okay, being codependent, right? not being able, keep going back to a toxic situation. But understand this, coming out of this dark night of the soul, what have you been delivered from? A karmic relationship, what then places you back in the hands of divine. All right? So don't get caught up in titles. All right? Don't get caught up in situations. Don't get caught up in other people's involvements. You have to take full control. We can't see what you see. Don't be demanding. Because when you're demanding, it causes a storm. Because there's always someone that's willing to be competitive, are willing to prove you wrong. All right? So there's no need. There's no need. All right? And that's where that territorial is coming from. All right? What else did I want to tell you, Gemini? So if you've been listening to this, I'm yawning because I'm growing, okay? So, with that being said, if you're like, you know what, I'm not experiencing the dark night of the soul, then I'm lost for words. Lost for words. Because sometimes we try to do things our own way when divine is simply saying, I have it laid out already for you. So don't step out of your blessing. There's a reason why you're here, okay? If it's just supporting, the channel, I thank you so much. I really do. It means so much to me because I started off with just me. Just me. I mean, just me. Just me and a recorder. And I said, you know what? I'm eventually going to be able to get me a microphone. Okay? And then, look at here. A whole year has passed by and I'm still using my phone. Because my readings are aligned with those who are supposed to read my or on the podcast, or are supposed to listen to my readings. And on the YouTube, they're aligned for those to arrive because all of my readings are done live. Okay? I haven't yet individually released any pre-readings on YouTube. All of my pre-readings are here on the podcast. So with that being stated, Gemini, do you want to change? And if it's yes, for some of you Geminis, it's small steps. For some of you, you're going to be able to quit cold turkey. Literally. Some of you are changing your diet. Some of you, it has nothing to do with another person. It's just you internally of wanting to have a healthy diet, wanting to change aspects of yourself. So again, I really appreciate your support. I'm learning every day, and as I encourage myself, I'm here to inspire and to encourage you. All right? And, you know, as much as, you know, if we had the capabilities to, just with the wink of an eye, you know, change situations or get the things that we need, you know, we will miss out the experience of life. And some of it's difficult, and it's more detrimental when we start thinking, well, I only have one life to live. Why do I have to go through this? Because there is a seed that has been planted, and you have to figure out how to water that seed so that you can be able to be grounded and that you can be able to create your tree of life. All right? That brings life to others. All right, Gemini. Don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle. Make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe, because this is still a new channel, okay? And I want you to be a part of the success of the growth of the channel. Also, you can become a monthly supporter here on the podcast, as small as 99 cents a month, no more than $9.99 you can choose. For those of you who are not ready for that monthly dedication for Spiritual Guide and Light, you can send your gifts via CashApp or PayPal. All right? If you have any inquiries, email spiritualguideandlight@gmail.com. All this information, everything that you need is in the description box. All right? Remember, it's like I'm trying to depart from this reading, and it's just like, Gemini, you do not need to be alone. You do not need to be alone right now. All right? So listen to as many readings. There's a lot of collective general readings. You have a lot of readings. You have your own folder on YouTube, okay? So again, Gemini, don't forget, love is kind and love is gentle. And that, my dear friend, is you and I.